channel. It's me, Jess, if you are new here, also known as Earth, Wind, and Jess. Today I just wanted to talk a little bit about Mississauga Parks and Forestry's Prairie Stewardship program. I also wanted to touch a little bit on pollinators, since a couple weeks ago was Pollinator Week, and just little things that we can do to help encourage pollinators to attract more of our lovely bees and butterflies. Mississauga's Parks and Forestry puts on a stewardship program. They do a lot of different things. The one that I attended was called the Prairie Stewardship program. It was put on at Jack Darling Park. Jack Darling Park is located in Mississauga, Ontario. It's actually in Clarkson specifically. It's a large park. It is on the lake shore, so it's really beautiful. Big picnic areas. There's a big leashless dog park. It's also home to Rattray Marsh, so there's a lot of wildlife and different plant species there. The stewardship program, it has a lot of different aspects to it. I picked this up when I was there. So the community stewardship opportunities they offer are tree planting. I actually found the stewardship program through their 1 million trees program. I saw it on the back of a van and I googled it and it kind of brought me to this. The 1 million trees program helps to steward the city's natural areas, so planting trees, trail improvements, removal of invasive species, which is what we actually did while we were at Jack Darling. And you don't need, any kind of skill level or any sort of knowledge on invasive species or, anything really. They kind of teach you it all, so it's really great. They also do beautification murals. So in different parts of the city where maybe it's kind of run down or there's not a lot going on, like bridge underpasses, picnic tables, stuff like that, they get volunteers to go and paint beautiful murals on them, so it's more welcoming and people want to go and kind of take care of the area. They also have a Don't Be a Litter Bug program, where you can actually adopt a park or an area and you're the leader, so you kind of get a team together and you're in charge of the litter that is kind of left there. Yeah, Mississauga puts on a lot of different activities where anyone can get involved and you can really help preserve the beauty of your city and its trails. So Jack Darling is also home to a prairie wildflower garden. So they planted this garden in 2013 and they planted about 30 different species of plant there.
So being Pollinator Week, we have planted a lot of pollinator species, which is what I wanted to talk to you about today. Planted in 2013 with approximately 30 species, and we planted a few more species in 2017 and a few more last year as well. And in some cases that's just to fill in. We get some rabbit browsing. Occasionally there's been evidence of a little bit of deer browsing. We've had some theft of plants, so that's always a concern. Usually more in a public space. And some plants, such as Black-Eyed Susan, which is one of the easiest to grow,
that's cool.
They're actually, most of these plants are perennials, so they come back every year. Black-eyed Susan are biennials, and although the name actually indicates 2 years, they'll usually come back for 2 or 3 years. But as long as they're happy, they'll self-seed, produce a lot of seed, which falls in place, and they'll continue to come back year after year, and most people don't even realize they're not perennials. We've had some sort of disappear or move around, shift around in the garden, which is fine, but that's just another reason that we've planted sometimes in between years. So we did plant over 600 locally native species. So when we're talking native, we look at plants that grew here historically, and we look at the area within the Credit River watershed or just beyond. So yeah, this was actually, I think it's 668 plants originally, and it's about 1,500 square feet. So if you think of the size of, a relatively large one-bedroom apartment, but this actually provides habitat for more than just one person or a couple. Provides habitat for the pollinators that we've mentioned. So by increasing plant diversity, we're looking to support biodiversity of species. So quite a number of different bees, whether that's our native bees, so a whole host of bumblebees, some solitary bees, carpenter bees, and then a whole host of butterflies. So I won't define all of the different types of bees here tonight. You might be seeing some of them, most probably many around, but we are trying to planting it partly in order to support pollinators, for example. So some of the plants that produce or that have large flowers with sort of flatter surfaces or the sort of cone shape make it really easy for butterflies to land. So again, if you're thinking of what you want to plant, think about planting different colors. You already talked about things that bloom at different times, different colors and flowers of different shapes. So you see that something like this is the nectar is accessed in quite a different way than something like the dense blazing star or the coneflower as well. So planting those different types. And so this is actually from the garden. Enhancing habitat, providing plants that provide a lot of nectar as well as pollen, and we have monarchs. And sometimes people will be confused because monarch butterflies will visit a whole number of different flowers. And they actually are visiting those different flowers for nectar from different flowers. It's that in the caterpillar stage, they can only feed on milkweed. So there are several different native milkweed. There's butterfly milkweed, there's the common milkweed, which we actually have some that potentially remove the seed in the fall or something like that, or some of it, because it will spread both through seed and through roots. But butterfly milkweed is orange, it doesn't spread as easily, and similarly with swamp milkweed, which really likes moister locations. So if you have a really moist location, considering swamp milkweed as an option.
Prairie wildflowers themselves that grow in there, or at least a few of them are, and I have a list because I can't remember them all. Wild bergamot, which blooms a soft mauve in July. It attracts a lot of pollinators and it's very large in height, and it's one of the pollinators that will actually grow in clay soil. There's also butterfly milkweed, and it's bright orange, very bright. These ones actually specifically attract monarch butterflies, and it's actually like a host plant for them. Butterfly milkweed also grows in clay soil and is a good contrast to wild bergamot. So if you want a beautiful garden, grow those together. Wild lupine, it's an interesting looking flower. It's a purpley mauve flower and it has spikes. It blooms in late May and it lasts until July. Wild lupine specifically is really good because it improves the soil and the nutrients in the soil. But you can also plant this in sandy soil, so you can plant it in clay and sand. One of the most popular prairie wildflowers is called the black-eyed Susan. I actually used to see these a lot as a kid growing up. They kind of look like a miniature sunflower. They have a brown center and bright yellow flower. They easily grow, and They're a little bit late of a bloomer, so they will bloom from July until September. There is also the New England aster, which Jack Darling actually has a lot of. They're also late season bloomers. They bloom like August to September, so they're like really late. They can be grown in clay and they're very aesthetically appealing, so it's one of those things that you want to have in your wildflower. Okay, so as I said, we were there specifically for removal of invasive species. If you don't know what invasive species are, they are a species, plant, animal, that isn't native to their area. So most of the time they are introduced, have a tendency to spread and cause damage to the environment. So this is why they need to be removed. So some of the invasive species that you can find at Jack Darling Park are garlic mustard, buckthorn, and emerald ash borer. We were there in the prairies just sort of removing some of the invasive species that we could find, and then we actually planted native plants and grasses in the spot that we dug up. So because Jack Darling is a park that contains prairie, they actually take part in a controlled burn. A controlled burn is just like the name says, it's a controlled fire. So they burn all of the plant life, and this actually encourages more growth, more lush growth, because of the nitrogen and the nutrients that you get from the fire. So less than 3% of the prairies that remain scattered between Windsor and Eastern Ontario. Like Jack Darling, actually High Park is similar, and a lot of people don't know that High Park is actually also a prairie land. Fun fact for you. So what can you do to encourage pollinators and, you know, help your community beautify your trails? A, get a pollinator pack, which Mississauga Parks and Forestry actually gives out. I got one when I went for the event, and they give you a seed pack with a bunch of prairie wildflowers seeds in it, and you can plant them in pots, you can plant them in a garden. And you can also get involved with your city. I know, for instance, Mississauga has a lot of volunteer opportunities through their stewardship programs. It's really easy. All you have to do is go to their website, you just register, the events are free, and you're helping your environment and your community. I encourage you all to go out and do it, find some activities in your area, and just get involved. It's a lot of fun. You meet new people, you learn a lot of things, and you take care of your planet. I mean, what more could you ask for? Anyways, thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed my TED Talk. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you learned a little bit, and I hope it encourages you to get out there and try it for yourself. Like, subscribe, comment, share. I want to talk to you all, so come on. Leave some comments. Let's get a discussion going. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon.